there is much to lose. However, usually 5,400 men do not go unnoticed, leaving not the slightest trace. This is what makes the story of the Ninth Roman Legion so compelling. This story still does not have a clear explanation, and there are only various plausible theories. The Ninth Legion was one of the largest in the history of the Roman army, taking part in the Civil War of 90 BC. In 65 BC, this unit was already surrounded by glory and fame, under the command of Julius Caesar, ensuring the expansion of the empire. Just 7 years later, along with him, and 3 more, Caesar begins a successful campaign in Transalpine Gaul. In 49 BC, the Ninth Legion joined the guard duty in the Iberian Peninsula. It was here that he earned the nickname Hispanin after acquiring a Hispanic province. The other paths of the Ninth tell a lot about the high mobility of the Roman legions. From today's Spain, the Legionnaires traveled to Albania, where they dealt with the treacherous Illyrian tribes and enemy assistants in the Battle of Dyrrhachium. At 500 kilometers from them, under the command of Caesar, they settled scores with his adversary Pompey at the Battle of Pharsar. A year later, the legion embarked on the African campaign, from where it went to suppress the uprising in Sicily, and then again to Spain, where they participated in the Cantabrian Wars. It was deployed in Macedonia and around the Rhine to defend against the Germans, intimidating Helvetia with their presence. The legion fought the inner enemy of Mark Antonio. His soldiers just didn't stop, and a positive reputation preceded him everywhere. This was the squad that every military leader would like to command. Unsurprisingly, the legion's involvement was also planned for the great invasion of Britain in AD 43. In this respect, however, the Romans changed their minds a bit. The island country was inhospitable and full of enemies. The Celts were not going to put up with enslavement. The Ninth, led by Caesar Nasica, fought at Karatuk and Caradoc, where he won at great expense. We also know that he built a fortified camp at Lindum Colonia, near present-day Lincoln, and for another 5 years, the legion suppressed the uprising of the leader of Venice. The rest did not come, because after him came Boudica, the wife of King Persitiga of Icena. The return of the sacred oak grove, the murder of the Druids and the violence of their daughters returned interest to the Romans. 80,000 of them paid with their lives. They definitely did not envision such colonization. It was AD 61, and Emperor Nero had a very vague idea of the suffering of the Ninth Legion's warriors. For example, the news arrived in Rome with a significant delay, that in an attempt to free Camulodunum, all the infantry fell heroically, while, because only those who cowardly rode horses were saved from the felling of the released Icena and Trenevanta, led by Boudica. After replenishment, Ninth will enter the battle again. In 71, he fought rebellious brigands from the north and helped build the Eboracum camp in what is now York. The Ninth escapes complete annihilation in 82 when Scottish tribes attack his night camp. They survived, but they lacked much. And in 108, itinerant Legionnaires helped build the walls near York. We know this because they left a trail for us here, a fragment of a stone slab discovered in 1864. But then what? By the year 108, the flow of available information suddenly ends, which, of course, raises questions and leaves room for speculation. It appears that the Ninth Legion has disappeared or scattered. But why is there not a single record about this? The strength of 5,400 legionnaires, supplemented by 8 bata cavalry cohorts and 2,000 to 3,000 auxiliary members, cannot simply disappear from the world. Or maybe, there is no mention of the Ninth anywhere since 108, and it is not on the list of legions over 165 years. This is 57 years, a lot of uncertainty. But some clues are offered. In 117 CE, it seems that the Romans have launched another exciting campaign north towards the Scottish Highlands. The target was probably the uncultivated tribes of the wild Picts. And obviously things didn't go according to plan. How do we know? The first answer is in the form of several gravestones of Roman soldiers from other legions serving in England, found in Aquileia. And secondly, the fact is that in 122 the Emperor Hadrian arrived to the fortified city of Eboracum, to repair the enormous destruction, which, history is tactfully silent about this. However, it seems logical that if the Ninth were still present in this fortress, the Emperor would not have come here with his 6th Legion. Hadrian also ordered the construction of a large rampart to separate the savage barbarians from the British colony, because the British are out of control. At the same time, he froze attempts to conquer the north further. Another indirect evidence for us should be the record of the historian Cornelia Q, who later recorded the side of Emperor Marcus Aurelius. How many good soldiers served Emperor Hadrian, who killed many Jews and British? So it seems that the Emperor's direct involvement in Great Britain was due to a big defeat. The Ninth, however, did not have to be crushed in one decisive battle, but his power could be gradually crushed in dozens of provincial battles. and the British climate was truly deadly. In addition, until 1990, all experts more or less agreed that the famous history of the Legion ends with its deployment in England. All this changed during excavations, when a metal plate, thalera, was discovered. It was found near the Rhine, in the former Roman province of Novi Omegos Batavorum, in today's Holland. The reverse of the medal was embossed with the inscription Legionnaires 9, which quite convincingly testified to the presence of a legionnaire from the 9th. In addition, in the center of the archaeological camp was a temple dedicated to Apollo, which was erected at the initiative of a kind of Lucia Latinia Macera, who herself proclaimed herself the chief centurion and third commander of the 9th Legion. This camp was inhabited between 104 and 120. For the 9th to be transferred here from troubled England, the damage that Emperor Hadrian came to repair in Britain could have been caused, for example, by the weakening after the 9th was taken to Europe, broken or shattered. However, it cannot be said with certainty that there was not only a part of the 9th Legion, for example, in the Netherlands. This could be, for example, her auxiliary corps, which worked on military buildings, and it could be the other way around, because even in 108, at least part of the Lost Legion was present in the stone fortress Eboracum. However, the transfer of armed legionnaires to the Rhine seems likely, although we have only very circumstantial evidence of this. The camp at Novi Omegos Batavorum was held for a long time by the 10th Legion, which was transferred to Vienna in 104, and it is not entirely clear who replaced him in the same place. What if the 9th hadn't disappeared into Britain and really appeared beyond the Rhine? Where did the steps of his legionnaires' chained sandals lead? We'll have to speculate even more. There are no sources of information. We know, for example, about one of the commanders, a senator named Lucius Aemilius Carus. He became governor of the province of Arabia in 142. We do not know, however, whether he traveled east with his comrades in arms, or whether he was appointed here only after he left the army. In addition, he served in a relatively unusual manner in the 9th, 10th, and 30th Legions. Was 9th here with him? It could be dispersed during the endless battles with the Parthian Empire or during the uprisings in Judea. Here, too, there could have been a military disaster, which should have been forgotten. But uncertainty remains. Somewhere between the Scottish Highlands and the Arabian deserts, a mass grave may await its discovery, the remnant of the last battle of the famous Legionnaires Hispana. From 71 to 108, the 9th Legion settled in the Eboracum fortress in full view of their enemy brigand. But for almost 40 years, the neighborhood can grind even very sharp edges. And so it seems likely that the Roman legionaries could eventually create families with flamboyant women. The 9th will not break the war, but will satisfy the marriages. On guard of the northern border, which is one hand with the natives, what else? One family? This is truly a disaster, and, perhaps, this is the huge damage that Emperor Hadrian had to fix here. People fit for use and not assigned will be sent at lightning speed to Europe, to the Rhine. What about the others who have so far tamed themselves in the arms of local women? Free them and strip them of their military honor. Abolish the entire 9th Legion and not a word about it to anyone, as if it never existed, because it's a shame for Rome. And the well-known conquest of the north? Build a wall there so no one goes there.